Good evening to everybody. Today we are here live with brother Kolkur. We want to talk about 16 May, and this is a historic day, of course, yes, and that's why we say we need to come together with a call so that we discuss and we also get some historical concept about 16 May. We know already that today it is 16 May, and 16 May always it mark SPLA Day in South Sudan, a day that reminds South Sudanese about the long struggle for freedom, dignity, and self-determinations. I think it is the moment indeed to remember the sacrifice made by liberation heroes, soldiers, and civilians, and also communities who lost their lives during the liberation struggle. The day is not only about military history, as we know, but also about remembering the courage, resilience, and also determination that eventually led to the independence of South Sudan in 2011. So we know all these stories because we are also Sudanese. I used to say like that. And people who born in 2011, these are the real South Sudanese. But we, including Akol and the rest of the peoples who born in 90s, 2010s, downwards, all of us are Sudanese. SPLA Day remains important because it keeps the history of liberation alive for the younger generation and remind citizens about the historical backgrounds and the value of the unity and patriotism that that is inside all South Sudanese. Despite the achievement of independence, South Sudan is still face many serious challenges today, and the country continues to struggles with many things we know, brother, calls like insecurity, tribal division, economic hardship, corruptions, unemployment, weak institution, and limited access to quality educations and health care. And many citizens still expect the promise of liberation to be fully reflected in their daily lives. We know that we used to hear from them. Most of the citizens today are waiting for those promises being said by SPLA liberators, including those figures like President Salva Kiir today, because we've seen today before in Juba Stadium, it was emotional when he think about the time that he was struggling, the time of his youthhood. So it was emotionally, and that's why many South Sudanese still love him because of the sacrifice that he has done in order to move together with his colleague and all these peoples in order to liberate the country. And that's why we, the young peoples, we still have much respect to all these liberators because we know that they fought for this country, and this country is now going to be ours instead. And we are waiting for them. If our time comes, we also go forwards and we push South Sudan forwards as the time of liberators may come to an end with time. Now, Brother Call, I want to know from your perspective. Some of us, we know history, and some of us, we don't know history. You know, we have scientists, but we used to learn history, of course, yes. But some people, they may not know what 16 May mean to some of the people. So what does 16 May mean to you and also to South Sudanese? Thank you.
Thank you, my brother Cole, and to our audience who are watching this live stream on a call podcast. I welcome you all. I'm happy that you managed to invite me today to discuss the 16 May, the SPLA Day during the struggle. To make it short and briefly about the story of 16 May, you know, Sudan people and Sudanese had been war for so many years, and then you can capture it from Dr. John Garang, his speech in 2005 during the CPA. He was saying the Sudan has been in war for 49 years by itself. When it comes to our struggles, and that led to 16 May, it has really started from 1955, where the Sudanese, the southern part, break out during the marginalization by the Sudanese people. And then in 1983, they have come to form this SPLA movement for struggle. 16 May was the first day where Comrade Carbino Kwanyin was leading a battalion 105. They have decided to show that day was the first day for them to shoot the gun. Carbino Kwanyibo was the first person to shoot the gun with the bullets for the celebration of 16 May for the struggle. And then Dr. John Garang was also there. Our current president, Salva Kiir Mayardit, was also there. William Nguyen, the late William Nguyen, was also there. And so many South Sudanese who have struggled hard to make sure that we got the independence of South Sudan in 2011. So 16 May is a very historic day for all heroic men and women of South Sudan that who had tried the best during the hard time when we were young to make sure that the fight for South Sudanese rights and also fight for the freedom that led to the independence of South Sudan. So this is the 16 May that we are celebrating today as a historic moment for all South Sudanese wherever they are. And this is an historical event that's been known by all Sudanese and South Sudanese. It has been a struggle that's been taken by the Southern Sudanese during that period. So it's really a day has to be remembered. And without 16 May, there would have not been South Sudan now. So 16 May is the moment that led to this young, beautiful country. Though you have narrated and the nature that the country is in now, we can understand that all these developed countries have sometimes come through a lot of challenges, and for them also to become developed. And I could understand that you cannot just wake up in one day and then you reach a level that you could expect. So we could understand that we could learn also from different stories from different countries, in the first world countries, the second world countries, and the third world countries as Africa. So there's so many countries that had been in war, had been in struggle, economic hardship, crisis, civil war, and they are also managed to come out. They are not, and there's still some countries that are under the development now, trying also to achieve their best. So the 16 May, as I talked before briefly, is really the day that the first South Sudanese men and women that shot the gun for their struggle and for the liberation of this country. So this is the 16 May that we are celebrating today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Col. As you said, and that is really true, because in every country, since country is governed by the peoples and by also human being, we expect many experience. We expect many problems that may come from the leader, or they may come also from the peoples that are in the country. So it's not that a new thing to the peoples who are living in this universe. Most of the peoples have been in war that even much worse than our case today in South Sudan. And they have been coping up, and some of the countries now, they made it to life. They are now developed and they move forward. And that is the resilience that I mentioned earlier, that people of South Sudan are still moving forward with one heart. And they also hope for the best for the country to move forward. And since South Sudan came out from Sudan, we are not expecting a new thing to happen, but we need also to struggle. We also need to know, what does the country mean? But we still don't know what does the word country means, and that is the case. But we need to learn as we move forwards. We need to learn what national unity means. But if our country is stable, and maybe from 2011 after today, if it is stable, make sure a lot of things are going to happen tomorrow. But now it is good. Now we experience some crises that have brought us down. So we move forwards. We also calm down because of our mistakes, and they are our internal problems. We still have no peoples that are going to attack us and all this. But all these things, these are our problems, and we may manage them as we move forward, seeing this country belongs to all of us. And I really appreciate your positions, as you said it earlier. That is the nice thing. Now, let me take you back to 1955. I think we have many figures in South Sudan today. And agreements can be signed based on the parties involved in the agreements. We have Joseph Lago in history, that is the person who signed in 1972 in Addis Ababa. And in 1972, this is where the Southern Sudanese have been given the rights of self-determinations. I mean, the autonomous region of Bahr Kizals and Upper Niles and also Central Equatoria by, I think it was Jafar Nimeri of the Sudanese regime. And I heard that Jafar was saying that, kitab mim al-ghanun ma Quran wal Injil. So the agreement will just be will just so they'll just alter everything. We are not taking care of any agreements, and I don't know how does this agreement came about. And there is one thing that confused me all the time. And 1955 was Joseph Lago having a movement, let me say a party, and did he use his party to negotiate with Khartoum together with those of Nial, to Deng Nials and all these people? I think Deng Nial was from Sano, and I don't know Joseph Lago, was he from which party?
Yeah, on that story, the one of 1955, yeah, it's a long story, and sometimes when you read, uh, the Southern Sudanese, the moment that, yeah, there were few, there were not so many, and the party, they were like they are not being recognized by the Arab part. Like South Sudan, they were trying to make sure that yes, they really want Sudan to come together, so that they can do one thing together. But because of the Sharia law and the other, the marginalization of the Islamic people, and as you see, there's Dr. John going to talk about it. So many part of the Sudan, they were all Christian, like the Nubian kingdom. And when the Arab came in, they have tried to make sure that they have changed. They have, during the trade and then the immigration into the Sudan, they have tried to make sure that the Christian people, they have they turn them into Islamic, so that sometimes even the force people by force for them also to become Muslim. So by there, so Sudanese, some Southern Sudanese here, like you mentioned, Lago, and then the other source from Barakazal, from Upper Nile, especially where there are those people that who have decided to organize a party whereby whenever that they want to represent their voice in the government or whatever that demand that they could need for the South Sudanese, they will also facilitate getting through the party that they have at least registered and they could come in. So the story is really a very long story, as you said before that. So in our country here, it become harder, especially after we got our independence. It become harder in our curriculum for the history of Southern Sudan, to be at least given in the school for kids to learn from it, get more information about it. How did this independence and how did the 1955 came up? And before even 1955, there were so many civil war, and there's so many history that it has followed. As I said before, if you could really focus on the speech of Dr. John Garang Mabior, he didn't leave anything out. Okay, he didn't leave anything out that about the story of the Sudan. He mentioned single and each and everything that what was the problem of the Sudan and where it starts. You could all understand from the speech of Dr. John Garang, and so many books that you could also come from, and the story of Arab, how they come into the Sudan. So in 1955, yeah, this movement, there is so many background of it, but some other thing, yes, need someone at least who should at least get a book for you to give you more detail, but still you need to read more book and more, because sometimes when someone should tell you verbally, sometimes you will not believe. And sometimes you can get some other information also online. Sometimes also you could not also believe on what so many people read online. You get that. But you need also to collect more information for you also to be familiar whatever that has been done in so many years for you also to understand it. And this is one thing. Like the Joseph Lago was the main person that in the history of 1955, and he was the one with so many people who initiate that party to make sure that they have signed the agreement in 1972, and which the agreement is still, it has also failed, as you said before that. Jafar Nemere said that this agreement is not Injil or it's not a Bible. That definitely means that it's not permanent. The agreement that they were having, it was not permanent. So they may violate it anytime, and definitely they have violated it. And this is what led to another revolution of 1983. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you so much. I think I got some historical context right there. And Garang, indeed, he dig down into historical backgrounds of the Sudanese regimes, and you also dig down to the history of the Sudans, where Sudanese fought with Ottoman's empire, and also the British, and also the Anglo Egyptians, and all this. I think yeah, it is really good enough for us to understand the history, and this is the matter of Ministry of Education to write all these things down. And I think they are now teaching citizenship, which is comprised of this information. But I don't think whether citizenships may be containing all this. But I do believe in new Sudan syllabus, like social study and all this thing. It has some historical backgrounds of all this. Now let us come to 16 May, brother Colin. We talked about 16 May earlier, but of course it was militarily formed, and it was really for military purpose. But they are fighting for the country. They are fighting for the vision. I think, of course, in my view, the way I think Dr. John Garang was not fighting for self-determinations, but he was fighting for unity of the Sudan, and also the justice to be there, and equality of all the resources and developments. They should be given equally to Sudanese people, and that's why you see he was campaigning to north, to east, and also to west. And it was seen by the Sudanese people that he's going to unite peoples from different parts of the Sudan, and that's why you see they believe in him. And then and if you go to west, they believe in him. North and all these directions, they all believe in him. So that thing, a trigger to my mind that he was not intending to bring self-determination to the southern regions, but he was fighting for the Sudanese peoples to be united, share the same resource, and do everything in order to keep the map of the Sudans in the face of Africa, as it was the largest country in Africa. And I think this was what Dr. Jongaran was fighting for. But we came to self-determination. Of course, Dr. Jongarang died, and he was having visions. The vision that he was having, I think he knows them, and most of us, we don't know. Maybe President Salva Kiir know all this because they used to work together and all these things. Now, let me ask you this question. We know that SPLA Day, it was the day of the military. This was the first time that they trigger the bullet for the formation of Sudan People Liberation Movement. And nowadays, because the war has ended and South Sudan got independent, now will this day be reflecting to national? Will this day tell South Sudanese that we need to reflect on our national identity, or it should be only for military to celebrate this? Because I've never seen this. Some parties may say this is a SPLM historic day, but it is not for all of us as South Sudanese parties. Now, that's why I want to ask you these questions. Will this day, exactly the SPLA day, should SPLA day focus more on national reflection or military showcase?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, on the question, It's very simple, and you can understand now. It was being celebrated today, and you could see how the South Sudanese turn out to celebrate the SPLA day today, and it was really not only being celebrated by the SPLM party, it was being celebrated by all South Sudanese. Definitely, uh, the celebration shows that it means the unity of South Sudanese, the culture, and the national identity. No matter how party you are, you could also understand that this party that you are in today, whether you are in a SPLM, in the SPLM IO, or another party that in South Sudan here, you could understand that your mother party, the mother party that you have really struggled in 1983, uh, and goes for all the struggle for people to get independent, was the SPLM party. And then the SPLA also struggled to make sure that we got our independence. So I understand that this celebration, it does not only mean for the SPLM party, but it means as it was being initiated in 1983, it was being initiated because so we need to have a unity of Sudan. The people of Sudan should be united, and the culture, okay, and national identity must be the same because we were not being seen like we were really part of the Sudan because of the way they treated us at the north part. You see that our culture, okay, they were not being considered. You get that? So in the Sudan. So this is the reason why the few individual or the group of our great heroic that came up with a plan that to form an SPLA party and movement so that they can at least achieve this national unity and culture and national identity for all Sudanese. As you said before that Dr. Yongar and another colleague William Nyon Karbino Kwanyin Paul and the President in any they were not intended really to fight for self-determination. They were fighting for the unity of the Sudan and equal services to all Sudanese, to all Sudanese. You see, and then now on the current situation that we are in now, yes, so many people say that it is an SPLA day, and they should also be celebrated by those in the party of the SPLM. But I can understand that yes, the reason why people create other parties is because that it is because the nature of the politics. You see that, in politics you may not be in one room, but you should be in different rooms so that you can play a game. But when it comes to the national identity, okay, we have to come together under the SPLM and see how we can at least come together as South Sudanese as a national, through our national identity to see ourselves and how we love this country from the struggle that we have brought this country from. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, I call. Thank you. Of course, yeah, I understand this, and it makes sense indeed. Yeah. Now, call as an intellectual. We need also to know how far that South Sudan came to exist indeed. Yeah, and we have dig from 1955 going back to 18 somethings during the Angola Egyptians and Ottoman Empire and all this. So coming from those time, and we just begin the history in 1983, where there is a massive and there is objective of the fighting. I think in 1955, the objective was really not clear. And of course, if it is clear, then they were not really making sense. But I think in 1983, this was the time that we have seen the objective of SPLA are really fighting with pressure. They are fighting, pressuring the Sudanese regime. And they also get some support from different parts of the geographical location of the Sudanese people, like in Western Sudan, Eastern Sudan. If you go to those places, you can see they have their own proxies right there. But only in Northern Sudan, this is where you may not see people are supporting SPLA because Arabs were the majority in the north. Like you go to Halfa, you go to Khartoum, and all this. But only they are the first peoples who have really enjoyed the resources of the Sudanese peoples, and they are well informed about how countries run, and that's why you see they are now today a monopoly of the governments until today. You cannot see Western Sudanese peoples having a voice in the government. Sometimes you may not see Eastern Sudanese also having a voice in the government. And all these things come from marginalizations. And this is what Salva Kiir, Dr. Garang, Kwalmanyang, and those of Wani were fighting for this oppression. Now, this will bring me to this question. You've been seeing SPLA has been fighting immensely, and now we have defeated the Sudanese regime. And you was there, you was young, and you have grown in the SPLM liberation areas until 2005, where the Sudanese army have left all the towns in the source. So you have been experiencing some change in those towns. Maybe you might be in Kwajok, you might be in Awil, you might be also in Juba here. So what are the change that you have seen that SPLA have made since 2020? I mean, since 1983 to 2026. Have you seen there are some change, there are some critical change that have happened if SPLA have not liberated this country? What have you been imagining South Sudan the way it was if it was not liberated from Khartoum?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, there is so many changes, and you even sometimes you answer it through the way you explained it. You know, when you went back to 1955, you said very well. You know, the vision and the mission were not clear, but in 1983, where they formed the SPLA, they have mission and vision. And this is where Dr. John Garang come into the leadership, so that in any objective, that in anything that you want to achieve, you must have a hierarchy of the leadership, whereby they have managed to give a chance to Dr. John Garang Mabio so that he can take over the leadership part. And this is one of the things that is a big change, as I can tell you, from 1955 to 1972. That's one of the things that they have decided to come up with the formation of the SPLA, so that the movement could at least achieve its objectives as they were planning to do so. After after we got the independence, you know, and before independence, this movement has attempted so many agreements, for the country to come together for the unity of Sudan, as we mentioned before. You know, the main objective they were fighting was the unity of the Sudan. Okay, the main objective was the freedom of all the citizens of the Sudan. So each and everyone should be free. And then we were also being treated as a second-class citizen in Sudan. So that was the main objective that this movement was formed, and to fight all these irregularities, so that for all Sudanese to come together, so that we can also see no matter that our geographical part, whether we are in south, in north, in west of the Sudan, so we could see ourselves, we are all Sudanese under one leadership, so that the government could accommodate all the ethnic group in all the Sudan part. But when they failed to achieve the objective that of the unity of the Sudan, so the moment, and some argument that came in, especially the CCA, so the CCA said that if so many things that they were agreed fail, and then the self-determination will be the best, so that Sudanese will have their own, South Sudan will have their own country. And this is what definitely it led to our referendum and then the independence of our country in 2011. So I'm saying this gap is a very big achievement for the movement, especially the movement, the Sudan movement, people's movement. It's a big change. It's a big achievement to them. So it is a big credit we should give to those people who have given their life for the independence and the freedom of South Sudanese since the one that they have started to give their life for the struggle. So it is something that we should forget, whether our fathers or our grandfathers or we here or our kids also, and the next generation that will come. It is a history that has to be to be taught to them so that you could understand that there's a place where this country come from, and it has been really so many changes. So if you could not take some difficult also decision, changes will not come easily because the decisions they have taken that they have to fire a bullet and to make sure that they form a movement, a Sudan people's movement for so that the freedom will come to the South Sudan later. It was not an easy decision. So that is the reason sometimes I have a hope. Though other people should sometimes give up saying that, the country is not good and so many things. I tell them that you guys should reflect back to the history. Okay? Reflect back to the history. And you could understand the situation of the past and then the situation that people are in now. And the only thing that makes great because there is no country. As Dr. Jorgan said that. Dr. Jorgan said, ربنا خلق الزول خلق الإنسان. ويلا الإنسان خلق الدولة. Like this country, we are the one created this. We are the one who created this country. So, and if we are the one who created this country, and then we are the one who can destroy it, or we are the one who can develop it. So there is no another person that we could call or wait for him to come. So definitely, there is so many changes. It led now to our independence in 2011, and you see, before the war break out in 2013, this country, in East Africa or in Africa, was the best country. Everyone in Africa was having a dream to come to South Sudan also and live in a young country where everything's that there's so many changes. There's so many changes because I can understand for those who are most of the hearts who have been at the north part. So the marginalization was too high, and the life that we have been living was really difficult. And if we could reflect back to the history, the life was not easy for the South Sudanese. So, and we should thank God that for this changes, and SPLM has managed to bring the freedom to each people, and people should be proud of it. So that's the reason I said before that if we are celebrating the SPLA Day, so we could not reflect it with our parties that we have currently, because this party, it has been a party who have managed to bring this country from the marginalization and then the Sudanese regime. So we could also come together as an SPLM people and celebrate it together. And when later we go home back, so I can go to my party, you can go to your party, and we can do so other things, because we have to understand that this is a national way of doing things also, to come together. And I can understand here, when you have a party, it's just a matter of interest. You have your own interest, and I have my own interest. It does not mean that we could not come together and see ourselves that has a national identity or from the same culture. But only that when it comes to our interest, you go and serve your interest, I go and serve my interest. But there's one thing that should bring us together. We can definitely come together and celebrate it as a South Sudanese. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akol. You have really said it, and I appreciate that articulations. You said a lot, and all this, they make sense indeed. Yeah. As a South Sudanese today, we have one thing, and that thing is a vision of South Sudan. How do we need this country to be in 20 years to come, in 10 years to come? How do we need it? There is nobody that we will call in another country to come and make this country for us. Never. It is we, as you said earlier, it is we to unite. It is we to make this country a better place. Humans stay, and the nation remain as it is. And peoples who made the nations, these are the peoples who create the nations, like you and me. We are the nations called South Sudan. There is no any other persons missing. So if you bring any other persons, these are the foreigners. but a foreigner cannot work for betterment of South Sudan. And how about the country? So they have to work for the country. So if we involve other nationals to come in South Sudan and in order for them to make something for us, that is really a white lie. It's not true. So they will come for their own interests. They have their own interests. They have the reasons that they want to do. So, South Sudan has many resources, and if it has many resources, it means that everybody is having their own eyes, and they have their own interests in South Sudan. They want to do something that they need. So we cannot hope for somebody who will come and do this country for us. Never. That is lie. And I thank you indeed, a call for saying this. And another point that you said is about parties, and that is true. One party cannot accommodate all of us, because the hierarchy in the governments will not come in place, and that is nice. And I really like South Sudan to be democratic, and being democratic means that every citizens access the leadership of the countries. Those who have aspirations, like you, are called, you are an experienced public administrator, so you need also to showcase. You need to showcase your ability, your skills for other people also to see how does a call does his things. Maybe he has experience in this and all this. So we also need to see your skill. That's why sometimes we bring many parties in the governments, making it to be Democrat, and then later on we see how this party excels in the government. And then we, as a citizen, ordinary citizen, we try to choose the party that work based on our interests, even if they work based on their own interests. That is the case. But make sure that we are developing one agenda, and that is South Sudan. So a party is working towards betterment of the country. So we have to follow all these parties, because they are all our parties, and they are in South Sudan. And this is where we are. So any party which is this, make sure that it is our party, and they are also excelling in order to promote the interests of South Sudan. So thank you so much. But there is one thing that we are South Sudanese. So party come at last. But the first thing that come is South Sudan. We need to accept ourselves, first of all, that we are a South Sudanese, and this country belongs to all of us. Then parties will come as a political arena. So they have to come in politics, but they don't come in society. But in society, we just keep ourselves as one people, so one nation. But when we come to politics, this is where we involve parties and all this. I think somebody who is saying this is what Brother Call is trying to say, and he really said it in a point that is related to how nation is governed. Nation is governed based on the parties, and also people should also unite in order to accept themselves as a South Sudanese. But parties should come at the last. But the first thing that should come is your nation. This is the nice thing I call. Now the next question that I want to ask is, after we reflect on all this, after we reflect on the journey of the SPLA, SPLM, 1983, we have seen a tremendous achievement. You also said some. We have seen there are a lot of achievement that we have seen. We have also seen there are challenges that have faced the movement. Some of the challenges President Salva Kiir has attested to himself earlier. It was the testimony of that. And I think it was the first time for him to say this in public, that it was given a bribery of 505 millions United States dollars in order not to accept the referendum of South Sudanese people. And he's the leader. And that's why you see the regime was trying to do this in order to alter all the plans and the visions of SPLM, SPLA. And Salva Kiir, being the leader of this movement, if he accepted this bribery, I think the South Sudan would have not exist today. And this is what he was saying. He was appreciating himself. And that was the first time. All these things are challenges that the movement face on the road, and a lot of achievement. Some of them you said them earlier. Now let us come into three stages of the country that has been liberated. Brother Call, in a nation like South Sudan, the politics that we are in today is a liberation politics. Okay, but we still have two politics, and one is a nation building, okay, and another one is economic developments policy. And all these things are staged. And how can South Sudan move from liberation politics to nation building and economic developments? How can South Sudan implement all this and exhibit itself from this politics of liberation struggles, where you meet the general, they will raise up the hand and say, we liberated this country, so we don't know you, okay? Then you step back, you met with this, with ita talga jesh, itkalla mawasa yugulek nina belida hararna be talga, like what like what Garang Atany said, that in the South Sudan is not, we did not found it be in papers, but be talaga. So this says that South Sudan has been in a lot of things, and of course, this is the liberation politics. So how can we take South Sudan from this politics to nation building and nation building to economic development? How can we do that? Thank you.
Thank you. This is a good question, and I can relate to, because we have gone through so many studies, and for those who have an experience in so many leadership and so many historic part of the world, you could understand that, for a country to be strong and develop and have stability in terms of economic, in terms of military, because the supremacy, it comes from the strength that the country has and its people. And I could understand that if we could leave all this, we need to think, because in a country to be developed or to have a good system, there's two things. One, we need to develop a system whereby an individual will not change. Okay, that could be the first thing. System whereby individual could not change. Another thing also, after we develop the system, that system will also try also to guide the individual. Because now, if you look at the country at the international level, you first look at the system. Okay, after you look at the system, and then you also sometimes also look at the individual, the leaders, people who are leading the country. Okay, so and if there is no system in the country, and also the leaders that they do not have the country in their heart, this is sometimes where you see a country is not moving at the right effort. So I can understand now our people have struggled so much. Dr. John Garang, Karbino Kwanyan Ball, our current president, name them, so many people. They have struggled hard from nothing to something. You see, if SPLA movement have really tried the best from in a difficult time to reach at this level now we are in, I think it's very simple for South Sudanese to come together. And we say yes. When we are given a responsibility, that responsibility is not given to you as an individual. It is a responsibility of all South Sudanese. It is a responsibility of the next generation that will come, should fall in. And that responsibility, you don't need to leave it as your own legacy. You need to leave it as a system built up by a South Sudanese, and it has to work with the next generation to come to follow. Okay, if we want our country, South Sudan, to be a country whereby people come together and we are stable in terms of economic, we need to build up a system that empower our military, because you should not have a country, a state whereby you don't have a system in terms of the military, so that people understand your capability. Okay, this is one of the things, and this thing will come when we build up a system that individual will not influence. And you could see now in the United States of America, people were saying, Trump is very arrogant, is fighting Iran and whatever. There's a system. Trump could not wake up in the morning from the White House or whatever and then say, okay, we are doing this. No. It might have that, but the system sometimes may say no. It is not there. You see that? So when you build a system will sometimes guide you. And that's a very important thing. And this is where people realize it at the international level also. For you to have an allies and people who can support you, they will also look at the system. And then later on come to the individual, the leaders who are leading the country. And sometimes if they see that the system is built up and the leaders or the individual could not influence the system, and then definitely your supremacy and your economic capability, people will try to demand so many things from your country. So this is one thing that I should tell South Sudan is that if we are now engaging ourselves, because when our people try their best to make sure that they brought this country into the independent, they were not a proper education. Okay, they don't have a place for the accommodation. They were just moving in the bush. But now we have a country, a state, a whole country. We have our resources that they fall under our geographical location. We have a territory that we need to protect. So we have a people. So now sometimes you see some this politician talk a nation, but if we talk about the nation, these are the people who can share the same language, the same culture. Okay, let's talk about Nuer. Nuer is a nation. Let's talk about Dinka. Dinka is a nation. Let's talk about other tribes. They are nation. A tribe who can speak the same language, the same culture. So there's so many nations in the country, in the state of South Sudan. And for those nations to come together under one system, we need to build a system that cannot favor an individual. Okay? And this is whereby each and every South Sudanese will find themselves if they are in the system. And I'm telling you, we South Sudanese, we are the best people. We are the best people in the world. We can resist, and we love each other the most. We love each other. You can see sometimes anything will happen. You can see South Sudan coming together in a very short minute. South Sudan is coming together, celebrating, forgetting the tribalism, forgetting whatever that they have in the past. You could see it now. Sometimes even online, when sometimes you watch, like it happened. One of the examples is the football. The basketball. When our team, the Bright Star, tried to qualify for the basketball, identity, what defines us as South Sudan. Even Sudanese, also they were also supporting us. Even and Africa as a whole, they were also supporting us. You see, whenever you do something good, people come together. But when you always do something bad, this is what brings the division. So my recommendation is for us South Sudanese who have now tried yes, we are trying to make sure that went to school, we need also to adapt the system, and also we need also to know the civilization, how civilization come in. We need to learn also from other developed countries. How did they come and develop their countries? Okay, if we need really to resist these people, because now the problem of the corruption in South Sudan here is based on the individual. It's not all South Sudanese are corrupt. And you could see now, our president now is just saying, I don't know, because when he appoints you today, he expects you to come and deliver. But when you come, you will not deliver. You will just deliver some individual, okay? And because there's no a set-up system, and if there is a set-up system, you will not come and just deliver to some individual. The system will not allow you to do that. So what I'm saying, we need to build up a system whereby individual could not change it. This is the only way that we can achieve a development and economic stability, military stability, capability in the country. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Col. And you have really said a lot, and that is the best part of having experience in the thing that you are talking about. South Sudan has been moving into a liberation politics, and it is one of the things that we are experiencing today. And of course, we expect that is going to pass, because government can just move stage by stage, so there is no problem with that. And this is what you said earlier, that this country belongs to all of us, and with we who can change it, nobody that can change this. And we are also struggling to have a nation, We are struggling also to learn all these things on how nations can cope up with anything that is happening. You know, the armed conflicts you see, the communal tribe, I mean the tribe, the communal conflicts and the tribal conflicts and all of these things. No, they will come to an end one day, and we will stay as a South Sudanese. There is nothing that will take us away from this country, and the tribes that are in South Sudan, they will not go anywhere. So we cannot extinct tribes not to be in South Sudan. That it make no sense. Nobody even will accept that. So we love ourselves. We stay in South Sudan. We die in South Sudan. The generation will come. They will also find South Sudan exists. And this is the vision that we need to keep in our minds as intellectuals and also people who know how to read and write. It's the best part of this country, and we are the one to change it. And that's why I brought this episode today in order to discuss South Sudan issues, politics, and also cultural practice, and how SPLA influenced the people of South Sudan to rally behind the movement until they get this country in 2011. And we are moving now forwards, let's say, 15 years as a nation. It is really blazing. And we are still moving forwards as we are learning, we are killing ourselves, we move forwards, and all this change will come and they will also pass. And then there is a time that we are going to be South Sudanese, and this Juba is going to be a big as capital city. You go to Awil, you go to Bantu, you will see these people moving together and all this. Now, Brother Cole, we are coming to the ends of the programs, and I really thank you for giving us all this information that you know about the SPLA and SPLM. And it is really good enough that you are also educating some of the people, because we have kids, people who are learning history, and they are also online. They want to learn all this, and sometimes they may read them, but sometimes if they don't hear what people say, they will not understand. They also need scenarios to be connected, connecting the dots and all this. So maybe there are the kids who need this history. I think they might have benefit from you, and they are also learning a lot. Now, the last questions that I want to ask is, uh, how can SPLA, because SPLA was having a visions of taking the people to the town. Okay, I mean taking the town to the peoples. Okay, instead of people to the town. And this is one of the SPLM framework that has been said by Dr. Garang, and I think Salva Kiir and the rest of the SPLM members, they have this thing in their minds that they want to take town to the peoples. What are the challenges facing these visions in your perspective? Do you think that the armed conflict is the one that is delaying the taking town to the peoples, or what do you think about it?
Yeah. You know, the missions, the vision of Dr. John Garang and the other comrades that who have been together and discussed, taking the town to the people was, the best, was really the best. Because why I'm saying this, I can understand now. If the visitor come to your house now, you will not act like the way you act before the visitor come to your house. You really want to understand the nature of the visitor. And then the other thing also, you want to learn from the person. And I can understand now. Our so many South Sudanese now, they are misbehaving in the city because they came from the area, the grassroots, and they want to behave like the way they came from the grassroots. They don't want also to be abided by the nature of the city. Okay, if the SPL would have taken the city to them, if someone had today, they are bringing a services to the country to you, and then they will be eager to wait and see what type of service are they bringing, and also want to learn from them. So you can bring the network for them, you can bring the school to them, you can bring the hospital to them. After you establish everything, you will tell them this one has to be used like this. It will stick in their mind. Yes, we have been told to use this hospital like this. we have been told to use this network like this. We have been told to use this road like this. You know, the civilization and the education will come at once. Okay? Because civilization and education are different things. So when you tell someone that in the hospital, like in the school, you need to talk like this, you need to dress like this, you are teaching them a civilization. They have to be well civilized. So when you teach them something, they will understand. They have also to understand how they could also catch things and learn more. So they would have learned, and they will have at least adapt quick. Okay, and young people, young generation would have come up with a very good education and a learning system, and knowing that when someone comes to the town, the person will not be surprised, and there's nothing going to be new to the person. He will understand that this is where it start from the grassroots. At least there was a city, and he's now also coming to the big town. You see that? But because people now come from the grassroots and then come to the town, other people come and surprise, what is this going on here? They think that the way people behave here in the town is the same the way they behave at the grassroots. But absolutely they are different. Okay? Absolutely they are different. So, and the services also will be delivered because there's other people who could not have an access to the city. And if the town could be delivered to them, and then the services will come to them. It's only few people who could come to the town. Now, the city now is not being accessed by the few people. And if it was taken to them, and then definitely the city will access so many people in the grassroots. So this is one of the things I'm saying. Yes, SPLM should work on that because it's not too late. Okay, it's not too late. Even SPLM now should at least have some schools in all 10 states. Should create a school in all 10 states. And those schools must be managed by the charter of the SPLM so that they could also achieve their dream for the future. Because it's not too late now. Other people say, SPLM is not taking us anywhere and blah, blah, so many things. But the problem is not the SPLM, it's the individual that who have been given the power and they could not deliver. Okay?
Now,
And now,
now, now, now,
is
let me come to schools. You have a point there, and the point of having schools. SPLM is having a vision. It's having a lot of framework that need to be achieved, and all these things. If they need to be achieved, they need to have an institute. They need to have intellectual property, a place where they can train people. And I think they have only one place, and that is national. I think the Youth League. This is one place in Central Equatoria. But if you go to the rest of the state, you don't find them. What is the problem? Do you think that it is the party which is, is it the party who is not serious to do the thing, or it is the individuals who are not planning to do this in order to keep the vision of SPLM alive? Now, the vision of SPLM is going to be alive only in Central Equatorial states, but it's not going to be alive in many states. It should be bubbly, because they are not trained. But in a party, you can be trained on how party does thing. But now we're seeing SPLM is basing in Central Equatorial states, where they train youth. They give them certificates in order to signify that Mr. X has completed this. Why are we not seeing them in the states, all these services?
Yes, the problem here is not the party. The problem is the individual. في عربي قاعدين نقول في عدو لما العدو لما يكون في النص بتاعكم ده بيكون مشكله. Individual that in the party, they don't want the party to achieve more things. And I don't know, there is a speech that I watched from our president. He was saying that, this individual who have give them power, they just want to take money for them to empower themselves. Okay? And the people now have been given a power by the president. They just want to empower themselves. They don't want to deliver the services. And I'm telling you a call. What I said before, that SPLM should at least take a school to these 10 states so that you can at least train 8 people. The real member of the SPLM, they should be trained. The kid must learn from there. Maybe they could go to the secondary school, the primary school, and learn also to understand the vision and the mission of the SPLM. Okay? This is one of the things SPLM should do that. But The individual who are there, they don't want to do that. And if someone has that mission, at least one individual have there was some 2 to 3 people have that mission that they want to do this. Some other individual, they don't want that. They will not support that. They would at least try their best to sabotage whatever that the project that want to be run by Mr. Y and Mr. X. Because if you are the one I call now in the in position that to deliver that project, then I will say why I call now, why it's supposed to be me. I was supposed to be the one to take that vision. So and then we have to sabotage it. So and this is the problem now. So this is what I'm saying. SPLM should at least come. And we are happy now, you know, especially we people of the SPLM, we are happy now. Dr. Akol Paul is back. He's in the party. And since he came, we were having hope that now SPLM will not be like the previous one. You get that? At least there must be some changes. Like now, there's so many things that they are supposed to be done. Like what you said before, the only center that they train people now is only in Juba, in Central Equatoria. And the other states, yes, the SPLM is there, but they don't have centers whereby they train people. They should also have centers to train people. They should also monitor young people who have coming up like you, someone like you. You can do more to the party and to the people. And these are the people that SPLM should look for. Give you more training, and you can also deliver knowledge to the people so that people benefit from you and will understand this is SPLM delivery. So the quality and the vision of the SPLM are very clear. And the only thing now is to be done is to make sure that put them in action. Okay, we need to put them in action. That's the only thing we need to put them in action. And we still, these are our collective ideas. As the young people, youth of this country, we need to come together, you know, and make sure that anything that has not been achieved by our people, we need also to do it by ourselves. You see, we cannot say that if Mr. Y does not achieve nothing, and then we have to do it. They have achieved something. Like if we are now talking about this 16 May today, we celebrate today. You see, this is the first time now I have seen 16 May has been celebrated in a way that you can really have, you can, like someone who does not even know the story of 16 May today would have understand. Okay, what was the meaning of 16 May? So many people, South Sudan, young South Sudanese now, those who have been born in 2003, 2005, 2006, 2007, even this in 2013, they have grown. Those who are born 2013, they have grown. Okay, now they have something like 16 to 15 years. So it's someone who can understand what is all about this story. You see, today, a young South Sudanese understand that 16 May is something really very important to us. Okay, so as PLM, they have a mission, and that mission was very clear. The only thing is to implement it, and services should be delivered to the people.
Okay, good at the call. Thank you so much. And I think some of the peoples they benefit from what you said, and we are now 1 hour live, and we want to end this these programs, and we have been talking, we have been putting a lot of ideas and also the opinions based on what we are seeing in the grounds, and that is good because you have an experience and you are also a member of SPLM. That's why you're talking from experience. You also go to states, you visit states, you see how states are doing the things, so you know what is going on in the grounds. So thank you so much, Brother Kolkur, and I will give you only 1 minute to say something about 16 May, since you said a lot of things, but I want you also to just to make some recap about that. Yes, in 1 minute, and then we end the program. Thank you.
Yeah, I will. The only thing I can say to our audience and the people of South Sudan, I'll say that happy 16 May of our anniversary to all the South Sudanese, wherever you are. You know, our people have struggled a lot. You know, they lost their life, and that blood will wash away all, you know, the suffering that we have gone through all these years. And the only thing that is for us also is to come together and achieve, you know, whatever that we want to do as a South Sudanese, and try to leave this discriminations of saying this is from this tribe, tribalism, and whatever that section, whether from Barkazal or you're from Al Nil or from Equatoria, definitely you are a South Sudanese. So the only thing now we could understand from this 16 May as the SPLM, they were been struggling for the unity of the Sudan, for the culture, for the unified culture of the people of Sudan, and then the national identity of all the Sudanese. So the only thing now we can apply now, we will not apply to Sudan. We can now apply to South Sudanese as a South Sudanese. So the only thing that can bring us together is a culture. Like when you say last time here, there's a Mandari culture. All South Sudanese went. It was not only for Mandari who went there. You also they have conducted for Yulu culture here. All South Sudanese went. So and if there's another tribe that want to conduct a culture, we need all South Sudanese to go there. We need to learn from different tribes culture. We need to dance. Even now I'm learning. I learned so many tribe dance. I can dance the one of Bor. I can dance the one of my area. I can even dance the one of Julu here. I can try. I can do my best. So wherever you go there, let us find ourselves that we are also Sudanese, and we should learn the culture. And later on, whatever that culture that is more attractive to us, that this is the only culture that we could pick. And that culture. So that we can pick this as our culture, so that we can also be recognized at the international level. So this is the only message that I could tell you, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Kolkur. We really thank you so much on behalf of our Call podcast. And bye-bye from now. We shall meet next time when we come for the next episode. So bye-bye and have a good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you so much, Brother Kolkur, for the nice words and also for the opinion that you have been saying. And today is 16 May, the SPLA Day, the time when South Sudan's Sudan People Liberation Army and movements have been fighting the Sudanese regime in Khartoum. And in 1983 until 2005, where peace agreement was signed between the Sudans and Southern Sudan. The peace agreement was signed, giving the southern regions a transitional period of 6 years of self-determination so that they decide. And in 2011, the transitional period has ended, and then South Sudan declared as an independent state. And here we are today. This is our country that we developed. You have seen Juba is not the same with 2005 and not the same with 1983. Cuba has developed. We have airports. We have also people playing football. We have basketballs and all of these things. You can see them today. People are doing all the things that can promote South Sudan. And that's the nice thing that SPLA, SPLM has been fighting for. We have a country today and we have many things that we can do in South Sudan. We have resources. We have a lot of things. But of course, yes, all these things, we still have challenges that we are facing, and all the countries that you see around the world, they have been facing all these challenges, and all these challenges that they have been facing, they left them behind. You see, Rwanda has been battling with tribal conflicts and ethnic violence and all this. So you go to Malaysia, you go to Kenya, you go to Uganda, you can see all these countries, they have been fighting among themselves. But today they have changed, they have now developed the country. It's the same thing to South Sudan. 15 years of being independent from Sudan is not much, it's really less. So we are learning as people of South Sudan, so we are learning how nation is governed. We are learning also how we can move together as one people, as one nation. That's why you see us fighting armed conflicts, tribal conflicts, and all these things. All these things will be there as stories. There's a time, maybe 5 years, 10 years to come. We are going to learn. We are going to change. We are going to be a country that have a visions, a country that is going forward to deliver what is necessary for the generation to come. And that's why I brought Brother Kolku today to talk about SPLA Day, which was formed in 1983 to 2005, and then 2005 to 2011 after today. 43 years in making, and that's why the anniversary is today. So, but you have heard from Brother Kolkur what he was saying about SPLA and the historical context about SPLA. We also talk about SPLA objective and SPLM framework that was initiated by Dr. John Garang Mabur, the late chairman of the SPLMs. This will bring me to the end of these programs, and a call podcast is always here for you. Anything you want to discuss online here, You can just tell us. We will bring it live to you. We will bring your idea to life. And that's why we are the voice of innovations. So we need to be innovative in South Sudan. We are moving South Sudan forward in different field of study, in different field of technology, in different fields, let's say in politics, let's say in military, and all the things. So we have peoples who are good in different skills, and that's why we are going to bring South Sudan forward like this. We have many youth that are innovatives and all this. So thank you so much for following a call podcast, the voice of innovation. If you want anything, you need to text me on my messenger. You also need to call me on 092 44 time 927, or you can see from the scroll text, you see the number right there. You just call me and we will discuss the best things that you think is the nice for you. So thank you and bye bye from now. Your brother, call me in.